However, and we need to clarify this, of course, this is a clash between books. You claim the Bible is the truth. The Muslims claim the Quran is the truth. You say everything within the Bible must be true, and the same applies to the Muslims yet again, which say everything in the Quran must be the truth.
Avery, is that what happened in this debate?
No,
Yeah.
it is not what happened in here.
Stupid!
It's not a clash between books, Bob Logic. It's a clash between Muslims and Muslims' own verses that they're quoting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just to clarify, Avery, could an atheist make the exact same arguments we were making?
Yes.
An atheist could make the exact same points that we're making.
Yes.
An atheist who does not believe in the inspiration, preservation, and so on of the Bible could make the exact same points. You guys are quoting John chapter 5 to show that as your evidence for your case that Jesus was a Muslim, you're quoting this verse of this passage. Therefore, we can look at this passage and, oh, even Bob agrees that Jesus is not a Muslim in that passage. That was the basis for your case that Jesus is a Muslim.
Exactly, David. This is what I do when I do this challenge, and I offer them $2,200 to prove to me that Jesus was a Muslim. They ask me, "Are you a Christian?" I say, "I am, but my beliefs are irrelevant here. My beliefs are irrelevant to you proving historically that Jesus was a Muslim." Then they go to the New Testament. Okay, cool. So the New Testament is reliable enough for us to determine if Jesus was a Muslim or not? They'll say yes. All right, go ahead. Go with your passage. Go with whatever you want to quote. I'll go with you. And they give us the general passages, and I show them from the passage why Jesus cannot possibly be a Muslim, whether I'm a Christian or not. It does not matter what I believe. It doesn't. All right.
Indeed.
Hence, you have a clash between those two books, but ultimately then the question becomes, of course, which book is more reliable? Why would we even take the Bible as an authority? Why would we take the Bible as proof for Jesus saying that? Because
that's amazing.
Wait. You see what he put in there?
What?
Read words of Jesus.
Yeah.
That's how they read the Bible. That's how they want to read the Bible.
Oh, that's fine. I'm happy to go. They go read words. And we did that in debate. We just, hey, we'll go with the passage that you guys want. Pick a passage, any passage, and let's actually read the passage. No, you'll just read the part of one verse that we quote. Let's see what Bobby's saying.
Indeed, we do know that the New Testament has been written by anonymous authors and not by the disciples of Christ.
Anonymous authors, not by the disciples. Where do you guys go to prove Muhammad? Where do you go to prove what you believe about Jesus?
John.
Anonymous authors, not by eyewitnesses, can't be trusted, corrupted. That's where we go. And they don't get it. You can say this 100 times right to his face. He would not get it. And all his fans who don't get it either, they cheer him on. Yes. Tell him how we reject these corrupt scriptures. Then tell them how these prove that Muhammad is a prophet and that they prove that Jesus is a Muslim. What do we do here?
Hence, unreliable by any given standard.
Unreliable by any given standard. Where you guys go to defend Muhammad and your view about Jesus? A book that's unreliable by any standard. Even, wait, one of the standards being that your God and your prophet over and over again tell us to judge by these books? Yes, Allah is no standard. Allah's title of the video, ladies and gentlemen, Bobby's perspective. Allah is not a standard. The Quran is not our standard. Muhammad is not our standard. We don't care what any of those say. Oh my goodness, man. What do we do here? This is so dumb. Okay.
Modern day historians will of course agree that the Bible is not to be taken as historical proof for Jesus. And
who?
Bart Ehrman.
AP had Bart Ehrman on that. You ask him, hey, Bart Ehrman, where do you go to learn about Jesus? The Bible. To be fair, he does not believe that things weren't changed. So again, Bart Ehrman is an atheist. critic of Christianity. If you ask Bart Ehrman, where do you go to learn about Jesus? This is why I'm asking him, who says you don't go to learn about Jesus to the Bible? Who says that? Scholars across the spectrum go to, they have criteria that they'll use. They'll say, this passage is authentic. This was a later invention. They all go to the New Testament to learn about Jesus. Those are, they don't treat them as the inspired word of God. They treat them as first century documents that people wrote. So they don't believe that they're inspired and that they're perfect and so on. But they still believe that they're first century documents that were written by people and that these contain at least some accurate information about Jesus. That's standard. Bobby doesn't know what he's talking about yet again. What has he said that is actually correct here? Except for him acknowledging that the Jesus in John chapter 5 is definitely not a Muslim.
There you go. Got to give him his credit, David. You got to give him his credit. Okay.
Credit.
That's what he got the most important part right. All right.
Mm-hmm. All right, here we go.
This is why, yet again, it all boils down to, you believe in the Bible, the Muslims believe in the Quran. However,
but the Quran affirms the Bible and you reject the Bible, and therefore the Quran verses that confirm the Bible, which you reject, you have to reject the Quran verses, and therefore you don't believe in the Quran, Bobby. You just don't. You think you do because you get all your information from TikTok videos and not from actually knowing the Muslim sources.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
For the Quran, we do have proof that it has been preserved. Therefore, objectively speaking,
what's your proof that the Quran has been preserved?
Trust me, bro.
Yeah, trust me, bro. In other words, I saw it in a TikTok video. I saw it in a TikTok video that the Quran has been preserved. But what about your Muslim sources that say, entire chapters were lost because Muslims got too lazy and stopped reciting them? Or what about the passages that were lost because the only people who had them memorized died in battle? What about Aisha saying that verses were eaten by a sheep? Those verses aren't in the Quran today. What about all these things? Well, no.
The sources that say, don't let no Muslim say that you have all of the Quran.
Yep.
You can't say that.
Yep. And that was Ibn Umar. That was a companion of Muhammad. Ibn Umar said, let none of you say I've memorized the entire Quran. How do you even know what all of it is when so much of it has been lost?
Ooh, that's tough.
Hope it's been preserved. I saw it in a TikTok video. My goodness, man. He's doing dawah from 10 years ago.
The Quran is the better source. That's pretty much it.
He literally can't say one sentence where he's not screwing up massively. Look at what he just said. The Quran is the better source. The Quran is the better source. What are we talking about? Whether Jesus was a Muslim. The Quran is the better source on whether Jesus was a Muslim. Notice, Avery, he made the criterion. Historians, he says historians don't treat the Bible as a source on Jesus. Yes, they do. They do. They do. Find me a historical Jesus scholar. They go to the Bible. Here's the question. Since he made them the standard. He made them the standard. Critical scholars of the historical Jesus, they don't trust the gospel. Let's pretend we grant that. We don't. That's a lie. But so notice, Avery, he made historical Jesus scholars the standard of what we should believe as a source.
Yes.
How many of these scholars, so Bart Ehrman, how many of these guys go to the Quran to learn about the historical Jesus?
Not a single one from
Show us one, Bobby. Show us one in the world.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're talking about what critical scholars and historical Jesus scholars say about the historical Jesus, and you say, hey, they don't treat it as a source, when they do, you're lying. You've made them the standard, and you say the Quran is a better source because of its preservation. On what? The historical Jesus? What? Name me one historian who goes to the Quran to learn about Jesus. One, anywhere. So, given your standard, the Quran fails, and it's a joke, and should not be trusted at all.
Yeah.
Especially since it confirms books which you say are completely unreliable by any standard, except by your God, who affirms them, and your prophet, who affirms them, and you. Apostate Bobby. Apostate Bobby. Wow. Bobby's apostate perspective.
Let him cook.
And what does the Quran preach? The Quran preaches monotheism. We do
The
not.
Quran preaches that you believe in the Torah and the gospel that are still in the possession of Christians, Bobby.
Uh-oh.
believe.
If you can't trust it on that, why are you trusting on this other stuff? If Allah somehow says the opposite of what he means whenever he talks about the Bible, how do you know he's saying what he really means when he talks about pure Islamic monotheism?
Right. Right.
Does Bobby just believe in the parts of the Quran that affirm true Islamic monotheism, but reject the parts that confirm the Bible? How do they get like this? Seriously.
That those other passages that you can find within the Bible are actually coming from Jesus. However, yet again, to answer your question, if you really believe that Jesus said, I am the Son of God, or I am God even, then of course, by that standard, no, Jesus would not be a Muslim.
And you have to honor him the same way. But by the way, wasn't he doing that in every passage these guys went to, Avery?
Every passage these guys quoted, and I mean every passage. There wasn't a single passage, David, that they quoted where Jesus was not claiming to be the Son. You're about to see, watch what Shway he's about to quote John 20, verse 17.
Oh, nice. John 20. I love that. Let's go.
Dave, Mohammed, wait. Dave, the John chapter 5, verse 30 doesn't say what you just said. That's not the verse we used. So what point are you making from that?
Okay, so let's. It's very simple.
Wait. Didn't Muhammad say he brought up John 5:30? Yeah.
No, I brought John 5:30.
No, both of you did.
They both brought up John 5:30.
But
a verse in a passage which Bobby himself has admitted Jesus is definitely not a Muslim in that passage, and yet they both went to it, and decades of Muslim apologists have been going to this same passage.
It doesn't say anything about.
It doesn't say what you are saying. It doesn't say what you, David, is saying.
Yeah, we're talking about the rest of the passage. Let me just give a breakdown of what's actually going on in that passage.
I promise. I understand what you're saying, but let me answer very quickly. We do not subscribe that the gospel is 100% truth. So
we're not saying that. We're asking about according to the passage.
1 minute, David. We're quoting the things that are aligning with the truth, and the things that are not aligning with the truth, we are here to help you correct it with the criterion, which is the Quran.
Did everyone catch it? Because that's what Bobby said, and that's what Muhammad here is saying, that we cherry pick the parts that we already agree with. So we decide ahead of time what the truth is, that it's Islam, and then we go to the passages, and anything that agrees with our position, we accept. Anything that refutes our position, we reject. And then what's left only affirms our position, and therefore our position is true. So we assume from the beginning that it's true, and then we use that to filter out evidence, and then all the evidence that survives our filtering only confirms our position, therefore our position is true. Circular reasoning and cherry picking, ladies and gentlemen. He affirmed it, Bobby affirmed it. That's the method. Guys, how many Muslim apologists do you need to see using the exact same method, all of it fallacious, before you sit here and wonder, why can't these guys make an argument that is not at bottom fallacious if Islam is true?
Yep.
Hey, would you switch to a regular cam, man?
I'm just using my computer now.
Why wouldn't you have done that from the beginning?
Because this sucks. You see how ugly this is?
No. What are you talking about? Looks way better than me.
No, it doesn't, man. All pixelated and whatnot.
It totally looks fine. No, you're looking at we're on a little screen, man. You're not pixelated at all. You might be once I blow it up, but we'll see. All right, let's get back to our friend here.
So
that's why we're saying we're not saying we know you we know you believe that Jesus said other things. We're saying, according to this passage, would the person who is saying these things, saying that he does whatever the Father does,
let's see where he goes with it.
someone who says that he's the one who raises the dead at the resurrection, someone who says that that you have to honor him the same way you honor the Father, where he says that he is the final judge of all mankind, would a person who said these things in this passage be a Muslim but not a believer?
He wouldn't.
Thank you,
You wouldn't be
Bobby.
a Muslim.
Thank you, Bobby.
Point blank.
That was the only point, Bobby.
2 points. One, that I'll bring
Muhammad,
you back
just
to
answer,
an
bro.
earlier debate where we had,
Dude, it's
where I
yes
told
or
you
no,
Jesus
bro.
can speak in the first person. And then the other thing is, just like how you're saying there's ambiguity with how the Son is defined,
Yes
the
or
Jews
no?
define, 1 second. The Jews define the Son in a different way than you defined the Son. David was a son of God. There's Benu Elohim, the sons of God. There's many
Bro.
sons of God in the Bible. So when you're taking it as a begotten son, that's when you went off course. But it
Okay,
doesn't
fair
necessarily
enough.
say that Jesus was saying, I am the begotten son. My father had a certain relationship with my mother, and here I come without a father.
Let me-
That's where it's the problem.
Exactly, exactly.
Dude, it's very simple, man. We didn't ask you all of that. We don't need the fluff. Seriously, answer the question.
Yeah, but your
This is
question,
The
ridiculous.
question is, why do you
questions
need that
Excuse me, I'm
question
sorry.
answered in the
I'm
first place?
sorry,
But well,
man.
just answer
I
it.
can't
I
do
agree.
this. Dude,
Uh-huh.
Do what?
it's very
can't do it.
simple. What David asked you and what I asked you. It's super simple.
Or
According
do
to
you
the
take the
text,
gospel 100% or just a little
excuse me.
bit? That's what you're
It's
saying.
it's very simple.
No, look, he did it too. What Bobby just did. What you guys are saying. Do you take the Bible 100%? Do you take the gospel 100%? Not what we're saying. If you believe that this verse is reliable, authoritative information enough to support your view from your religion, are you granting the passage, or is this verse just like floating out there in the middle of nowhere with no context, and you could just sort of grab it as it floats by? Which are
Right.
you saying that?
Right.
Oh boy.